My cheating wife froze. When I walked into the party with her lover's wife on my arm, I stayed calm, said nothing, and watched her whole lie collapse in real time. Sup, Reddit. Quick background before I get into it. I, 36 male, met Anya, 34 female, 5 years ago at a hardware store, arguing about which drill bit works best. The manager had to separate us because we were blocking the aisle debating power tools for 20 minutes. The funny thing is that she gave me her number and we started dating. Then we got married 2 years later at a courthouse, because neither of us wanted the whole big wedding circus. Fast forward to last Tuesday, and I'm realizing I married someone who became a completely different person. I'm sitting in our living room trying to tell Anya about this absolute disaster that went down at the freight yard. Nothing crazy, just one of those work stories where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and I figured my wife might actually give a dang. I work as a regional supervisor for a shipping company now, which means I spend my days making sure trucks don't vanish into thin air and drivers don't mysteriously forget how to read a GPS. She's standing by the kitchen counter scrolling through her phone with this look on her face like I just asked her to explain quantum physics. Then she drops it on me. Honestly, Cameron, if I have to pretend to care about your boring job one more time, I might actually lose my mind. No smile. No laugh to soften the blow. Just straight venom. I stopped mid-sentence. Set down my coffee. Looked at her directly. Excuse me? She didn't even look up from her phone. You heard me. Your job is boring. These stories are boring. I'm tired of pretending otherwise. Here's the thing. I'd been pulling 70-hour weeks for the past 6 months. 70. While she bounced between jobs every time someone looked at her wrong or asked her to actually show up on time. Our townhouse payment? Me. Her car lease on that Lexus she insisted she needed? Me. That ski trip to Aspen she posted all over social media last winter? Also me. Working doubles to afford it, while she complained the lodge wasn't upscale enough, but I wasn't about to just take that and smile. My boring job pays for everything in this house, I said, keeping my voice level, including whatever designer outfit you're wearing right now. She finally looked up. What's that supposed to mean? It means maybe show some respect to the person funding your lifestyle. Her face went red. Funding my lifestyle? Are you serious right now? Dead serious. You want to call my work boring? Fine. But you don't get to disrespect me in my own house while I'm the only one actually contributing anything. She slammed her phone on the counter. You know what? I don't need this. I don't need your attitude or your guilt trips. She grabbed her designer purse, the one that cost more than most people's monthly rent. Where are you going? I asked. Out. Dinner with old coworkers. And don't start with me about it. Then I caught the perfume. The expensive stuff she saves for special occasions. The kind that comes in a bottle the size of my thumb and costs $200. Old co-workers, I repeated. Dressed like that. Wearing perfume I bought you for our anniversary. She froze for half a second, then tried to cover. I'm allowed to look nice, Cameron. Not everything is some conspiracy. Never said it was, but interesting timing right after you just told me how boring I am. Her hand was already on the doorknob. I'll be late. Don't wait up. Wasn't planning on it. The door closed harder than necessary. I sat there for a minute, then got up and poured the rest of my coffee down the sink, grabbed my keys and headed out. I wasn't about to sit around feeling sorry for myself while she was out doing whatever she was actually doing. Hit the gym for 2 hours. Came home, made dinner, watched a game, went to bed at 11. She rolled in at 2:30 a.m. I wasn't asleep. Heard her stumble through the door, heard her curse when she knocked something over, heard the shower running for 20 minutes. She climbed into bed smelling like hotel soap and stayed on her side. Around 3 a.m., she spoke into the darkness. Cameron? I didn't answer right away. Cameron, I know you're awake. What? Long pause. I'm sorry about earlier. What I said about your job. That was out of line. I stared at the ceiling. Yeah, it was. I've just been stressed. Work stuff. Life stuff. I took it out on you and that wasn't fair. Work stuff, I said. What work stuff? You haven't held down a steady job in over a year. Another pause. I've been doing freelance consulting. It's complicated. Right. She rolled over, tried to touch my arm. I didn't pull away, but I didn't respond either. Can we just forget tonight happened? She asked quietly. Sure, Anya. Whatever you want. She eventually fell asleep. I didn't, because my phone had buzzed around midnight while I was at the gym. Number I didn't recognize. I'd checked it in the locker room. She's lying to you. Then another message came through. If you want proof, meet me tomorrow. 9 a.m., Grounds Coffee on 5th. Come alone. I laid there thinking about that text, about the perfume, about how she'd come home at 2:30 a.m., smelling like hotel soap. about the apology that felt more like damage control than actual remorse. Things had been weird for months. I'd noticed but kept making excuses. Work stress, life changes, normal marriage stuff. But something about tonight was different. The way she'd looked at me with pure contempt. The way she'd tried to walk it back, only after getting home at 2:30 in the morning. I looked at that text message again in the dark. Some stranger had decided I'd been in denial long enough. Maybe they were right. Grounds Coffee was one of those places that tries too hard. Exposed brick, mismatched furniture, coffee that costs $8 for a cup that's gone in 3 sips. I showed up at 8:45 because I wanted to see her coming. Got a coffee I didn't want and took a corner table with a clear view of the entrance. She walked in at exactly 9 o'clock. Tall, dark hair, dressed like someone who'd stopped caring about impressing people. She looked tired in a way that goes deeper than bad sleep, like someone who'd been carrying dead weight for too long and finally decided to drop it. She spotted me and walked over. "Cameron?" I nodded. She sat down without ordering anything. No small talk, just straight business. "I'm Roxanne. My husband is Tucker. He's the one your wife's been sleeping with for the past 7 months." Just like that. No build-up, no warning. Just detonated the bomb right there on the table between us. I wanted to call her crazy. Wanted to say Anya wouldn't do that. But instead I just asked, "How do you know?" Roxanne pulled out her phone and slid it across the table. First photo was a screenshot of text messages. Tucker's name at the top. And there was Anya's name in the thread. Not saved as a contact, just typed out raw. Messages about meeting up, inside jokes, a bathroom mirror selfie that was definitely taken in our townhouse. More screenshots, hotel confirmations, Venmo transactions with descriptions like, "Thanks for dinner, babe," and "Last night was amazing." The last one was a photo Roxanne had taken herself. Grainy but clear enough. Anya and some guy in a restaurant booth, her hand on his thigh, both of them leaning close like they were the only two people in the world. I pushed the phone back. Felt like someone had punched me in the chest. "When did you find out?" I asked. 3 weeks ago. I was looking for a confirmation email on his phone and found everything. An entire folder of messages he thought he'd deleted. Emails. Calendar appointments disguised as client meetings. I sat there trying to process it. Anya had looked me in the eye every single day for 7 months. Had kissed me goodbye. Had made weekend plans. Had acted annoyed when I wanted to talk. And the whole time she'd been living a completely separate life. "Why tell me?" I asked. Roxanne leaned forward. "Because I'm done playing pretend. But I need documentation. Real proof. And I can't do it alone. Tucker knows my car, knows my schedule, knows when I'm watching, but he doesn't know you. You want to follow them. I want evidence," she said. "Every lie documented. Every meeting tracked. Every hotel room photographed. I want it all recorded so when I walk away, there's no room for him to spin it or make me doubt myself." I thought about Anya coming home at 2:30 a.m., about the perfume, about the way she'd dismissed me like I was background noise. "When do we start?" I said. Roxanne smiled. First time. Barely. "Tonight. There's a steakhouse on Riverside. They'll be there at 8. We met in the parking lot at 7:30. Roxanne was already there, sitting in her sedan 3 rows back from the entrance. I parked next to her and got in her passenger seat. She pointed through the windshield. "There. Corner booth by the window." I looked. Anya was sitting across from a guy I'd never seen before. Mid-30s, clean haircut, the kind of guy who looks like he irons his jeans. He was talking with his hands animated, and Anya was laughing. Actually laughing. That real laugh I hadn't heard in months. Roxanne pulled out her phone and started taking photos. Nothing obvious, just documentation. The two of them together, timestamp, location. "She told me she was meeting her old roommate from college," I said quietly. "Tucker told me he was meeting a client for dinner. Said he needed to make a good impression. We sat there for 2.5 hours. Watched them order appetizers, entrees, dessert, more appetizers. Watched him reach across the table and touch her hand. Watched her let him. When they finally left, they didn't walk to separate cars. They got into his. Together." Roxanne started her engine. "Ready?" I was. We followed them to a hotel downtown. One of those mid-tier places where the parking garage connects directly to the lobby. We couldn't follow them in without being obvious. But Roxanne photographed his car, the plate, the hotel sign, the timestamp. We sat there for 3.5 hours. When I got home that night, Anya was already in bed, scrolling through her phone. She glanced up when I walked in. "How was your night?" she asked like she was reading from a script. "Fine. Yours?" "Exhausting. Lydia never stops talking." She went right back to her phone like nothing had happened. I stood in the shower for 30 minutes, trying to figure out how I'd married someone who could lie that easily. Roxanne and I developed a system over the next 2 months. We'd meet up, compare notes, follow them when we could. They weren't sloppy, but they had patterns. Tuesday nights, Thursday afternoons, Saturday mornings when both of us were supposedly running errands. Roxanne kept a spreadsheet. Dates, times, locations, descriptions. I started collecting my own evidence. Screenshots of Anya's calendar when she left her laptop open. Receipts I found in her purse. Gas station charges from across town when she claimed to be working late. We talked during the stakeouts. Started with surface level stuff. Roxanne worked in pharmaceutical sales. Road warrior type, calling on doctors and clinics all day. She'd been with Tucker for 8 years, married for 5. They'd talked about kids but kept postponing it. Glad we did now, she said one night outside a restaurant. Can you imagine splitting custody with someone like this? I told her about my job, about how Anya used to be different when we first met at that hardware store. She'd seemed spontaneous, fun, like someone who actually enjoyed life. Used to leave me notes, drag me to concerts even though I hated crowds, surprise me with random road trips. When did it change? Roxanne asked. Gradually, like watching paint fade. One day I looked up and realized I was living with a stranger. Roxanne nodded. Tucker used to plan surprise trips, used to cook elaborate dinners just because. Then one day he just stopped trying and I didn't notice until months had passed. We weren't friends exactly, more like soldiers in the same war. Then one Thursday in late August, everything escalated. Anya had told me she was working late on some big project. Wouldn't be home until 10. Roxanne texted me at 6:30. Northgate Hotel, room 318, just watch them check in. I was sitting outside the nonprofit where Anya claimed to work. I'd been there for 3 hours and hadn't seen her once, because she wasn't there. Never had been. I drove to the hotel, sat in the parking lot staring at nothing. Roxanne called at 9:15. They just left. Separate cars. She's heading your direction. Anya got home at 9:50. Walked in looking refreshed, like she'd just finished a productive day at work. She kissed my cheek and asked what I wanted for dinner tomorrow. My jaw clenched. My hand stayed steady on the countertop. Instead, I said, whatever you want. The next morning, I did something I should have done months ago. Called the Community Outreach Foundation, where Anya claimed to work. The nonprofit she'd been supposedly employed at for 7 months. A woman answered. Professional, friendly. Hi, I'm trying to reach Anya, I said. Is she available? I'm sorry, we don't have anyone by that name here. Are you sure? She's in the development department. Fundraising. I coordinate all our development staff. We've never employed anyone named Anya. I thanked her and hung up. Sat in my truck outside a gas station, staring at nothing. She'd made up an entire job. 7 months of leaving the house every morning, coming home every evening, complaining about her boss and her coworkers and office politics. All of it fiction. I texted Roxanne. The job's fake. The whole thing. She's been lying about employment for 7 months. Roxanne called immediately. What? I told her everything. Why would she do that? Roxanne asked. Freedom, I said. She wanted the freedom to do whatever she wanted without questions. So she built herself a fake life to hide behind. Roxanne was quiet for a long time. We need to finish this soon, before they figure out we know. After finding out about the fake job, things started picking up speed. Roxanne and I met more often, not just for surveillance. We'd grab coffee, compare notes, talk through how we'd missed the obvious signs for so long. She told me about credit card charges from restaurants Tucker had never taken her to, about the time he claimed to be at a conference in Phoenix, but she found out later he'd never left the state. I told her about Anya showering immediately after coming home, about how she'd started sleeping facing away from me, about the way she'd changed the subject whenever I brought up future plans. You ever feel like you're losing your mind? I asked one afternoon. We were sitting in my truck near a lake where Anya and I used to go early in our relationship. Like maybe you're blowing this out of proportion? Every single day, Roxanne said. But then I look at the evidence and remember I'm not imagining it. We were quiet for a minute. What are you going to do? Roxanne asked. After this. Leave, I said. First time I'd said it out loud. File for divorce. Cut her out completely. No second chances. No working through it. Just done. Roxanne nodded. Same. Tucker can have whatever life he wants, but I won't be part of it. We weren't just gathering evidence anymore after that conversation. We were building something else. Trust. Understanding. A partnership based on truth instead of lies. 2 nights later, Anya came home acting different. Weird different. She was quiet through dinner, kept watching me like she was trying to solve a puzzle. You've been distant lately, she said while we were cleaning up. I almost laughed. Have I? Yeah. Like your mind's somewhere else. Are you seeing someone? The accusation was so absurd I actually stopped washing dishes and looked at her. Are you serious right now? She crossed her arms. You're gone more. You're on your phone constantly. You barely talk to me anymore. I dried a plate slowly. Maybe I'm just tired of being your emotional punching bag. Her eyes narrowed. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm tired, Anya. Tired of working myself into the ground while you coast. Tired of being treated like I'm optional. Tired of everything. She didn't have a response to that. Just grabbed her phone and walked out of the kitchen. Over the next week, she watched me more. Started checking my phone when I left it out. Asked pointed questions about where I'd been, who I'd been with. She knew something was different. Just couldn't figure out what. Then, one evening, I came home to find her sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open. We need to talk. My stomach dropped. Not because I was caught, because I wasn't ready. Didn't have everything lined up yet. About what? I asked, keeping my voice neutral. She took a breath, looked genuinely uncomfortable for the first time in months. I need to tell you something I should have told you a while ago. I sat down across from her and waited. I didn't actually take that job at the nonprofit. I made it up. I stared at her, said nothing. I felt trapped, she continued, in everything. I needed time to think, so I pretended to have a job and used the time to figure things out. She looked up with what seemed like genuine vulnerability. I know I should have been honest. I know I messed up, but I want to fix this now. I want us to work on this together. It was perfect, the ideal partial confession. Just enough truth to seem real while leaving out Tucker, the hotels, the 7-month affair, all of it. She'd somehow figured out I was onto something. This was damage control. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. Because I love you. Because I don't want to lose you. Because I want us to be honest with each other moving forward. I almost believed her. Almost. Thank you for telling me, I said calmly. Relief flooded her face. So we can work on this? Start fresh? Yeah, we can work on it. She came around the table and hugged me. Actually hugged me. First time in months she'd initiated physical contact. I hugged her back and felt nothing. That night, after she fell asleep, I texted Roxanne. She's trying to control the narrative. Confessed to the fake job, but left out Tucker entirely. She knows something's up. Roxanne replied immediately. Then we move faster. I've got almost everything documented. 2 weeks max. I looked at Anya sleeping next to me, completely unaware that the safety net had already disintegrated. 2 weeks. I could fake it for 2 weeks. The next day, Anya was different. Lighter. She made breakfast. Left a note in my lunch. Acted like we were some happy couple working through a rough patch. She thought her confession had worked, that we were healing. I played along. Smiled when appropriate. Held her hand when she reached for mine. Pretended everything was fine. Meanwhile, Roxanne and I kept working. She found deleted emails Tucker had tried to hide. I found a second phone Anya kept in her gym bag, one I'd never known existed. We were closing in. Over the next few weeks, Roxanne and I kept working. Documentation, evidence, building the case that would end both marriages permanently. We'd grown closer during those late-night stakeouts. What started as alliance became something messier. One night in early September, after watching them together at another hotel, something broke between us. We were tired, lonely, looking for something real in the middle of all the lies. We crossed a line that night. The guilt tried to creep in, but then I'd remember Anya coming home at 2:30 a.m., remember her lies, remember 7 months of deception. We weren't the ones who destroyed our marriages. They'd done that themselves. When I got home that night, Anya was making dinner, humming, acting like we were some perfect couple working through our issues. How was your day? She asked, all cheerful. Long? Yours? Good. I've been thinking about taking a pottery class. Thought it might be fun to learn something new. I watched her move around the kitchen, playing house, pretending she hadn't destroyed everything. Sounds great, I said. She believed it. The next few weeks were more of the same. Anya playing the role of devoted wife, me planning her exit, Roxanne doing the same with Tucker. Everything was lined up. Divorce papers ready, evidence compiled, process server hired and paid in advance. We just needed the right moment, the right stage for the final act. That's when the party invitation arrived. Perfect timing, perfect audience. Anya was excited about it. Talked about seeing her old friends, asked what I'd wear. I told her I'd be there. Didn't mention I'd be bringing a guest. 2 weeks before the party, Roxanne and I finalized everything, met with our lawyers, confirmed the timeline, made sure every detail was locked down. You ready for this? Roxanne asked. Been ready for months. No second thoughts? None. Good. They built this in public. They can watch it collapse the same way. The party invitation had been sitting on our counter for a month. One of Anya's old friends was hosting an end-of-summer gathering at her house. Big backyard, catered food, the whole production. Anya had mentioned it back when she still thought she could salvage our marriage. I'd confirmed we were coming, just didn't mention I'd be bringing a guest. Roxanne and I spent the week before finalizing everything. Divorce papers drawn up and ready to file. All evidence compiled and organized. We'd planned exactly how this would go down. "You're sure about this?" Roxanne asked 2 nights before. We were at her apartment going over the details. "Completely," I said. "They built this in public. They can watch it collapse in public." I kept my routine normal all week. The day before the party, Anya seemed lighter than usual. She was humming while getting ready, talking about seeing her friends, asking what I'd wear. "Probably just khakis and a button-down," I said. "You should wear that blue shirt, the one I got you last Christmas." "Sure, whatever." She came over and kissed my cheek. Actually initiated contact for once. "I'm glad we're working on things." "I really am." I nodded and went back to my coffee. She didn't notice I'd already moved half my stuff out over the past 2 weeks. Didn't notice the apartment lease agreement hidden in my truck. Didn't notice anything. The next morning, Anya was in a great mood. Made breakfast. Talked about the party. Asked if I was excited to see everyone. "Should be interesting," I said. She smiled. Had no clue what that meant. I went about my day normally. Went to work. Came home. Got ready for the party. At 6:45, I picked up Roxanne. She was wearing a simple black dress. She looked nervous, but ready. "She has no idea," Roxanne said as we drove. "None. Still thinks we're working on our marriage." "Tucker's the same. He thinks tonight is just another party." "Perfect. The blind side will hit them harder than they deserve." We pulled up to the house at 7:30. The party was already going. Music, voices, laughter coming through the windows. I parked 3 houses down and texted the process server. "Give us 5 minutes, then come to the front door." He replied, "Copy that." Roxanne looked at me. Last chance to back out. Not a chance. We walked up together. The house was packed. Maybe 40 people scattered between the living room, kitchen, and backyard. Someone had spent serious money on decorations. String lights everywhere. Catered appetizers on every surface. I spotted Anya immediately. Standing by the patio doors, glass of water in hand, talking to a group of 3 women. She saw me walk in. Her eyes went straight to Roxanne, then back to me. Then to Roxanne again. Her face went white. The conversation around her stuttered. One of the women followed Anya's stare, saw us, and stopped mid-sentence. Music was still playing. People kept talking in the kitchen, just quieter now. A couple folks near the door pretended not to notice anything. I scanned the space. Found Tucker by the refreshment table. He'd gone pale too, frozen mid-sip. I walked further into the room, Roxanne beside me. Calm, deliberate. "Sorry we're late," I said to the room. Traffic was brutal. Anya found her voice. Barely. "Cameron, what are you doing?" The front door opened. The process server walked in holding 2 manila envelopes. Professional. Efficient. Right on schedule. "Anya?" he asked. She nodded, confused. He handed her the first envelope. "You've been served." Then he turned to Tucker. "Tucker?" Tucker's face went from pale to green. "Yes? You've been served." Second envelope delivered. The server turned and walked out. Job done. The room felt wrong now. Music still going, but nobody dancing. "Divorce papers," I said calmly. "From both of us." Seemed appropriate to make it official. Someone dropped a glass. The sound cut through everything. Anya's hands were shaking. "You don't need to do this here. Not in front of everyone." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Then I turned to face the room. "For anyone wondering, my wife's been having an affair with him," I pointed at Tucker. "For the past 7 months. Hotels, fake work events, the full package. Roxanne here is Tucker's wife. We've spent the past 2 months documenting everything." Anya's eyes went wild. "Cameron, stop." "Interesting fact," I kept going. "Anya also fabricated an entire job. Spent 7 months pretending to work at a nonprofit that's never heard of her. All so she could have the freedom to do whatever she wanted." Tucker made the mistake of reaching for Anya's arm. She yanked away like he was toxic. "Don't touch me," she hissed at him. And just like that, the united front crumbled. "This is your fault," she said to Tucker, voice rising. "You said we were careful. You said—" Tucker's face turned red. "My fault? You literally said your marriage was done. That you were just waiting. I said that because—" Anya stopped. Started again. "Because you wouldn't stop texting me. Every day. Pushing to meet." "I pushed? You suggested the hotel last month. You said your place was too risky." Someone in the kitchen muttered something. A few people were still pretending to look at their phones. Anya turned back to me, mascara starting to run. Cameron, please. We can talk about this privately. I messed up. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix, I said. You killed this marriage 7 months ago. I'm just making it official now. She didn't respond, just stood there crying. Roxanne stepped forward, looked at Tucker with pure contempt. I'll be filing mine Monday morning. You can pick up whatever you want from the curb this weekend. Everything else gets donated. I'm keeping the house. Tucker opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Then Anya did something I didn't expect. She threw her glass. Not at me. At Tucker. It hit the wall next to his head and exploded. Glass everywhere. Water dripping down the paint. You ruined my life, she screamed at him. You literally said you'd leave her, that we'd be together, and now I've lost everything. Tucker backed up. Stop. Not here. You're being insane. Insane? Anya's voice climbed higher. You texted me every single day. Said you loved me. That I was the one. That your marriage was dead. Tucker stopped. Looked around at everyone watching. I was telling you what you wanted to hear. Did you really think I'd leave Roxanne for you? The room went silent then. Actually silent. Anya lunged at him. Actually lunged. Two of her friends had to grab her and hold her back. She was sobbing now. Full breakdown. I left my husband for you. I destroyed everything for you. You destroyed your marriage because you're a liar and a cheater, I said calmly. Same as him. You two deserve each other. Tucker rounded on me. You think you're perfect? Standing here playing victim? You're pathetic. No wonder she wanted out. I smiled. Actually smiled. Maybe. But at least I'm not the one who just got exposed as a liar in front of 40 people. At least I'm not the one losing my house. And I'm definitely not the one standing here getting water thrown at my head. Roxanne spoke up, her voice cutting through the chaos. Oh, and Tucker, that promotion you were hoping for? I filed a report with your company's compliance department 2 days ago. Expense records, hotel charges on the corporate card, dates and timestamps, all documented. Tucker's face went from red to white in about 2 seconds. You didn't, he whispered. I absolutely did, Roxanne said. Along with your actual meeting schedule showing where you really were versus where you claimed to be. All of it time-stamped and cross-referenced. He looked like he might pass out. Anya tried one last time, grabbed my arm. Cameron, please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I made a huge mistake. We can fix this. Counseling, whatever you want. I removed her hand from my arm. You're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. We walked out together. Behind us, the chaos erupted. People talking over each other. Anya still sobbing. Someone asking if they should call someone. Tucker yelling something I didn't bother listening to. We got in my truck and I started the engine. Neither of us spoke for a few blocks. Then Roxanne said quietly, that was intense. Yeah. You okay? I will be. I dropped her at her place. We sat in the car for a minute. Thank you, she said, for having my back through all of this. You had mine first. She smiled. Text me tomorrow. We should figure out next steps. Yeah. She got out and headed inside. I drove to my new apartment, the one I'd been moving into piece by piece for the past week. My phone started buzzing around midnight. Anya. I blocked her number and kept packing. 3 weeks after the party, everything got more complicated. Roxanne texted me. Need to meet. Tonight. Important. We met at the park near her place. She was sitting on a bench, staring at nothing when I pulled up. I sat down next to her. What's going on? She didn't look at me. I took a test this morning. What kind of test? Pregnancy test. I just stared. She pulled folded paper from her jacket and handed it over. Lab results. Clear as day. Positive. How? I managed. She finally looked at me. We both know how, Cameron. She was right. That night in early September during the surveillance. After months of watching betrayal unfold, we'd reached for something real. Are you sure it's mine? I asked. I haven't been with Tucker in almost a year. I moved into the guest room last October. He barely notices when I'm home. This complicated everything. What do you want to do? I finally asked. Long silence. I'm keeping it, but I need you to know I'm not expecting anything from you. You can walk away if you need to. I'm not walking away. She looked at me. Cameron, you don't have to. I'm not walking away, I repeated. I don't know what this looks like yet, but I'm not disappearing. Her face changed. Relief, maybe. We sat there for another hour talking through logistics, timing, complications, how everything had just gotten way more complex. The divorces were already in motion. Papers filed. Evidence submitted. No going back now. We'll figure it out, I said. Yeah, Roxanne said quietly. We will. 8 months after that party, my life looked completely different. The divorce went through without much fight. Anya tried to stall at first, kept sending offers through her lawyer, like she was haggling on Facebook Marketplace. Once my attorney laid out what we had, Anya stopped playing games. She signed, took her cut, and disappeared to another state. I heard she started dating someone new almost immediately. Good luck to that guy. Hope he enjoys mystery, non-profit shifts. Tucker lasted about 3 weeks at his job after the party. Turns out companies don't love it when you treat business travel like a personal hobby. One meeting with his boss, and he was done. Last I heard, he was back living with his parents and pretending the world did him dirty. I moved into a one-bedroom on the east side. Old building, thin walls, nothing fancy. But it was mine. No fake smiles in the kitchen, no tension in the air, just quiet and keys that only belonged to me. Roxanne had Daniel in early June. Healthy baby, loud lungs, tiny fists. Tucker didn't show up for anything that mattered. Her lawyer handled the paperwork, and Tucker agreed to stay away and stop pretending he wanted a family. Not brave, not noble, just lazy. Roxanne and I didn't rush anything. No grand declarations. We just kept showing up for the hard parts. If that counts as romance, then cool, I guess. One Saturday, Roxanne asked me to come by. Her place looked like a different house. Repainted, rearranged, like she finally scrubbed the guy off the walls. Daniel was asleep in a bassinet near the couch, still so small it didn't feel real. We sat there with coffee, talking logistics. Diapers, schedules, childcare, money, real life stuff. No pretending. At one point, she brought up us, in that careful way people do when they're trying not to spook something fragile. I didn't give her a label. I gave her the truth. I'm here, I'm consistent, and I'm not disappearing. That was enough. I left around 5 and drove back to my place feeling lighter than I had in years. I ate dinner, watched a game, and went to sleep at a normal hour. Nobody slammed cabinets. Nobody tested me. Nobody acted like I was a prop in their fake life. 2 weeks after Daniel came home, Tucker and Anya tried one last desperate stunt. They showed up at Roxanne's place at 3 a.m., thinking they were slick. Ring camera caught them clear as day. Dark clothes, Anya carrying a bag. They used the old garage code Roxanne hadn't changed yet. Roxanne called me immediately. The police were already on the way. By the time I got there, she was outside with Daniel, safe. Cops went in and found both of them inside. Tucker going through the home office drawers. Anya looking for the file boxes in the closet. They got arrested. This wasn't misunderstanding territory. This was charges that stick territory. Breaking and entering. Attempted theft of documents. Harassment. Restraining orders. The whole set. A month later, Anya tried contacting me from a blocked number with the usual, "I'm sorry, you deserved better" script. I didn't respond. I deleted it and went back to my life. 9 months ago, I was married to someone who treated me like an afterthought and called her lies a lifestyle. Now I had my own place, my own peace, and a kid in my life who actually benefited from me being there. They made choices. I made paperwork. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.